Welcome back to our Y.E.S. Fitness Longevity Podcast, where we give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It is a crazy time of the year, running around, gifts to buy, parties to go to, places to volunteer our time. It is one of the craziest times of the year, these 4 or 5 weeks. And before we know it, we're going to be sitting down on New Year's Day, sitting around the table and talking about all those things that we want to change for 2019. Maybe we'll start talking about the things that we were unsuccessful at in 2018. And hopefully we're talking about some things that we were very successful at 2018. But then as we take a look at 2019, those things that we want to change. They could be called goals, New Year's resolutions, whatever it might be, however you want to talk about it, however you want to look at it. But it is things that, we might want to just take a look at in our life and trying to improve on. It could be work, could be our relationships, it could be our religion, it could be financial, it could be friendships, it could be all kinds of things, our education, but just things that we want to try to get a grasp on and get better at. So how do we know that you're really ready to make change? Because we're usually really gung-ho and let's get this done. But how do we know that you're really ready to make change? And I'm going to relate everything back to exercise because that's what we do here. And we try to help people make changes in their lives, not just exercise, but nutrition, sleep, and everything else under the sun. But we're just going to try to relate things back to exercise. It'll make it easy for me to make examples, and I think it'd be easier for you to understand. So when someone comes in my door, excuse me, and they are looking to make some change, we kind of separate them out by 4 different types of people. We have the highly motivated, highly skilled person. We have the lower motivation person that's high skilled. We have the high motivation, low skill, and we have the low motivation, low skill. So each of those people, we have to address differently. We have to think about them differently. We have to try to talk to them differently. We have to try to give them different tools to be successful. So the first example, someone comes in the door and they're highly motivated, they're highly skilled, maybe they've exercised before, maybe they're exercising right now and they need to make some changes, try to improve on what they're doing, and they're extremely motivated. They've never had a problem really getting to a gym or working out at home, whatever it might be, to being active. So they're highly skilled and they're highly motivated people. So that type of person, if that kind of person, you're going to need to be able to seek out someone that's going to just give you some guidance, kind of show you the way, give you some motivation, some ways to figure out your progress with your goals and your results. But that person is probably one of the easier people to work with because they sort of have an idea what they're doing. They just need to make sure their form is correct, that the program is correct. They're motivated enough to get to wherever they're going to work out. Hopefully it's down here at our coaching center. And then you have the low motivation, high skilled person. Now that person probably stopped exercising because they were overwhelmed internally or external rhetoric or something like that. That person probably was motivated at one time and fell off the wagon, and they know what to do, they know what they need to do, but they're just not motivated to get it done. They probably don't need someone who's a rah-rah person. They don't need someone who's in their face, pushing them harder, work harder, constantly being aggravated. They need someone to be able to step back, show them the way, and probably take a look at trying to reconnect with that motivation they once had and then be able to build from there. So that's the low motivation, high skilled person. And then we have the very high motivation person with low skill. Maybe they've never exercised before, but they're gung ho.
You're breaking up again.
Am I back on now?
I don't.
Apologize for this, but we've had terrible internet connection today, and I just want to make sure that we're still alive and I'm not talking to myself like last week. Looks like we're good. Last week we were on with Janet Schwartz and we spoke for probably 40 minutes, and we didn't realize after 15 or 18 minutes that we were offline. So we're going to try not to have that happen again to us if possible. So we were just talking about the low motivation, high skilled person. So now we're on to the high motivation, low skilled person. That person who may not have exercised before or hasn't exercised in a long time. And the exercise industry has changed tremendously over the last decade or 2 decades. So if you're doing what you did 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, you're not on the most current stuff. But anyway, that person's really ready to go. They're highly motivated, but they don't know what to do. And they want to make all kinds of changes at once. So we need to kind of reel them in a little bit, because that's the kind of person that's going to overdo it. That's the kind of person that could possibly have overuse injuries. They could be the person that makes a lot of changes at one time. So we know that if we make one change, we're around 80% successful. If we make 2 changes at the same time, we become about 35% successful. And then when we make 3 or more changes, we're down to single digits. So that person could be setting themselves up for disaster because they want to make so many changes so much, because they're so motivated and they haven't been through it before and they don't really know exactly what to do and how to make those changes and to be successful at those changes. And we're talking about making changes. Just to divert for 1 second, we're talking about making changes. When someone makes more than one change, 2, 3, or 4 changes, they're probably going to be or could be very successful in the beginning, and they could get a lot of results in the beginning. But are they setting themselves up for failure in the long term? Because are they making changes that they can maintain over the long haul? It's much more difficult. That's why when we get to single digits, when we start to make 3 or 4 or 5 changes at one time. But the person who only makes one change at a time, okay, the results may not be as quick as they were in the beginning. They might be as quick as if they made multiple changes, but they're making changes that they can maintain for the long haul, over the long haul. So they may actually be, although not making as many results or getting the same results as quickly as that person who makes a lot of changes, they're making changes they can maintain for the long haul. So, and then the final type of person that comes through our doors, that which is low motivated, low skill. They know they need to do something, they don't know what to do, and they really don't want to do it. A lot of people don't like exercise. Only us exercise nuts love to exercise, but we know that we have to do it. So that kind of person really needs some guidance. They really need some nurturing, and they need a plan laid out for them. And they need a lot of support. They need a lot of short-term goals so they can see that they're making changes. That is the most difficult person, because of the level of motivation and their skills not there. So those are the types of people that may come through our door, and we have to kind of sort that out. So you should take a look at what type of person you are. Are you a high motivated person? Are you a high skilled? Maybe you've just got out of it a little bit and need to get back into it. Are you the low motivation, high skilled person? You've been out for a while. Set some small goals. Say, I need to get back to wherever I was working. I need to get back to the coaching center. I need to get there twice a week. Let's put it in my planner, get there twice a week and build from there, because you'll start to feel better again. You'll start to move better. You'll start to sleep better, and that'll help motivate you along. That highly motivated person, low skill, get a lot of help, because you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to hurt yourself. And if you are that low motivation, low skilled person, you really need a great coach. You need a coach that's going to guide you and bring you along. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold, so hopefully I don't start coughing like yesterday where I couldn't stop. So that's the type of person that really needs some help, some real motivation with that. So once you kind of figure out who you are, let's talk about the different stages of change. There's 5 stages of change. There's a pre-contemplation, there's contemplation, there's action, maintenance, pre-contemplation, preparation, action, and then maintenance. Where are you at in that continuum to figure out what you need to do to be able to make those changes? So we're going to start off with the pre-contemplation mode, and it deals with exercise. We define that as someone who hasn't done any exercise in the last 6 months. They have no intention of doing exercise. They don't plan on doing exercise. They're the type of person that might say, I hope to exercise. I wish I could exercise, but really no intentions of exercising. They might not even know the benefits of exercise. They might not know the dangers of not exercising, but that person in the pre-contemplation stage is just sitting back in the chair, watching TV, maybe drinking a soda, eating some chips, and saying, watching that exercise commercial for Y.E.S Fitness, saying, I really wish I could exercise, but they really have no intentions of exercising. From there, we get to the contemplation stage. So that person hasn't exercised in the last 6 months, but they're intending on starting to exercise. They know and understand that they need to exercise for their bone density, for their cholesterol, to help reduce risk for coronary artery disease. They know that exercise is going to help them feel better and move better. They know the benefits of exercise. They know some of the dangers of exercise. Their doctor maybe has been pushing them to start an exercise program. Excuse me, maybe their children have been talking about, hey, Dad, let's get out exercising. Maybe their wife is trying to push the husband to get back to exercise. So there's an intention there that although they haven't exercised yet, that they want to exercise. They might have in their mind that they'd like to exercise. They're going to try to exercise. But you know what? I'm a little too tired to exercise. I really don't have time to exercise. They really haven't quite made it that priority yet to be able to exercise. That person is in the contemplation stage of changes. So you have the pre-contemplation, contemplation, and then we have the preparation phase. That person has started working out. That person has started an exercise program. That person has started to make change in their life. But as far as exercise goes, they haven't really gone far enough yet. They want to get there, but they haven't quite gotten there yet. So in our eyes, they wouldn't have reached the standards of American College of Sports Medicine or the recommendations of the Center for Disease Control, the Center for Disease Control, which says that we need to exercise moderate intensity, 150 minutes a week, and intense exercise, 75 minutes a week. They're doing some exercise, but they're not quite there yet. That person, they need to have some real short-term goals to get them from week to week, from workout to workout. They need to be having some type of accountability to someone, maybe write down some goals and let someone take a look at it. That's whether they're looking at exercise or nutrition, whatever aspect of their life. But they're doing some of it, but they're not quite doing enough. And they're not doing enough really to get to what their goals are. From there, we have the action stage. That's a person that's going for it. That person has met, in our eyes for exercise, the Center for Disease Control recommendations, but they haven't quite done it yet long enough. They haven't gone to 6 months yet. So the preparation stage is thinking about doing. Action has done it. They've started it. They're hitting their goals, but they haven't quite done it yet for 6 months. So they're on their way. They're rolling along. And then we come to what we call the maintenance stage. The maintenance stage of change is one where the person has been at it for more than 6 months. They've been very successful. They're getting to the coaching center, Y.E.S Fitness, enough times to meet the standards of the Center for Disease Control, or to meet the standards for whatever they need to do to achieve their goals, whatever that might be. To kind of keep them rolling along. I realize internet connection was dropped. I'm back again, so I apologize for that. Maybe join something like we do down here, 100 Workout Challenge, where they They get a reward after working out so many times from July 1st to December 31st, 100 times, or maybe like our Holly Hold'em contest where they have certain things to do to maintain your fat loss so you don't gain any fat from Thanksgiving to Christmas. That's the kind of stuff that person needs to do in the maintenance phase just to keep them rolling along, staying on goal, and maintaining those habits. So those are the 5 stages of change. Again, pre-contemplation. That means that you're not doing anything. You haven't done anything. You have no intentions of really doing anything. Although you wish to do something, although you hope to do something, it's not really in your plans to do something. Are you in that stage? If you're in that stage, you need to start taking a look at your life and who you are and deciding, is this the person I want to be 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Is that who I want to be? Because until you decide who you are and decide what your why are is, you're going to stay in that pre-contemplation phase for a long, long time. If you get to that second phase of contemplation phase, you're thinking about it, you know you need to do something, get yourself a coach. You realize coaches, everyone needs a coach for all different areas of life. I'm a coach. I have a coach that coaches me with exercise. I have a business coach that coaches me in business. Excuse me. The greatest athletes on earth, Michael Jordan had a coach. Why did Michael Jordan need a coach? Because you need someone to guide you. So if you're in that pre-contemplation phase or the contemplation phase or any one of these phases, find yourself a coach to help you bring yourself along through these phases or what you need to do to be successful, because it is different for the person in the pre-contemplation stage than the action stage. What you need to be guided, how you need to be guided, what you need to be told. Your results are different. Your mindset is different. Your goals are different. Everything is different. How your coach is different in all 5 stages of change. So figure out where you are with that stuff. If you have any questions, if you can't figure it out, or if you need some guidance on how to get through one stage to the next stage, or to try to figure out who you are, whether you're high motivated or low motivated or skilled or unskilled, give me a call, shoot me an email, post it on Facebook. I'd be more than happy to give you a hand figuring this out, whether you're in my area for Y.E.S Fitness or you're working out somewhere else. I'm here to help people. That's why I'm in this business. So reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you a hand. So look for more insight from us next week on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better on our Y.E.S Fitness Longevity podcast. Thanks for watching.